Calls now on Meghan's new show. It's called With Love, Meghan, and premieres on the 15th of January. Will you be watching? 0207 862 2222. I was thinking, did I miss this when this was announced, or is it just literally dropped in a minute here? Because last night I found out about it. Billed as a lifestyle show that blends practical how-tos and candid conversation. Meghan says her show will have lots of tips for everyday life, and we can have a look at the trailer.
I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
What? This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
It's magic.
I'm gonna share some little tips and tricks. I see what color I gravitate to, and everything goes from there. And how you can incorporate these practices every day. That's what you want. You want that shape and texture.
Come on.
Yeah, okay. Will you be putting that on your player?
No, no, it's too saccharine, isn't it? No, I'd be bored, actually, yeah.
Well, I don't know. We haven't seen the whole thing. Something could catch fire in there. Or...
yeah, no, you want something interesting to happen, don't you?
Oh, I don't want to be negative about it. What do you think? Well, you probably got your... I'm going to guess, Michael.
You're going to watch it, aren't you,
I think Michael will have an inbuilt tendency to give Meghan a break because he doesn't like the people who are rude about Meghan. However, as a left-winger, you probably don't like the royal family. So you're in a real problem here.
I might as well go home, Jeremy.
I don't know. I want to see which way you go here.
There's also a story about Netflix, I think, because one of the problems with Netflix is because they don't have their in-house production companies, they often seem to let celebrities pitch them documentaries made by their PR teams. So it's not just Meghan, you see it with the Taylor Swift documentary, the Beyonce documentary, where you watch the whole thing and it's like an advert for that celebrity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love football, but watching a documentary telling me how good Pep Guardiola is or Jose Mourinho, no thank you.
Because the great thing about a classic documentary is often, you have a genuine journalist making it and they show you the warts and all
But
side.
you're going off at a tangent here. What do you think of Meghan and would you watch it?
I wouldn't watch it. I don't want to take lifestyle tips from a billionaire because I might not be able to follow them. You know
well,
what I mean?
that's a very good point. I mean, I think I'm looking at that dessert thinking, I don't know if I can afford that many raspberries. You've got a lot of...
But it's about taking simple things and elevating them, Anyone can afford to do that.
To be honest with you.
You don't... Oh. Yeah. But so you won't...
I wonder if she even made it.
But do you not watch Nigella? Do you watch... I suppose MasterChef is problematic now.
I'm a terrible cook. I'll give you an example.
But Nigella's an actual cook. She's not a cook. Meghan's not a cook.
Well, she's learning.
Look, my late dad used to love lemon meringue pie, and I tried making him one for his birthday. And I burnt it so much everybody thought it was quiche, and they was putting pickled onions with it.
Call it a Basque cheesecake.
Well, millions of people watched the Oprah Winfrey interview where Meghan said this.
He's been outspoken, especially about women's rights. I mean, that's the sad irony of the last 4 years, is I've advocated for so long for women to use their voice. And then I was silent.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
The latter.
There we are. That's as spoken by. Love your thoughts on this. 0207 862 2222. We did say anyone going to watch the show, ring us. No one has called yet. I don't think the trailer helped, because I think that what you need with these. There's so many cooking shows. You definitely have to have a selling point that is
something to grab you.
A bit cutting. Yeah, like exactly. Nigella's thing is just ooh, like that.
But she doesn't seem to.
Yeah, she's not particularly charismatic.
No, exactly. She shouldn't have the personality to carry on.
I don't know. We as I say, this is early days. We're only seeing a clip here. They might have held something back.
It's made me hungry looking at that cake.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Whatever you think about her, the Oprah interview was undeniably fantastic TV. That was blockbuster TV.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, it's good acting with her, potentially.
Well, however you interpret it, it was very good TV. And I think you can look at the Meghan story a bit about sort of the American California establishment versus the British royal establishment. So the royal establishment have their sort of protocols, their relationships with UK tabloid newspapers. The Americans thought, let's get in on this, and they're coming from a different angle.
Oh, hang on a minute, there's some bees in it. Wait a second.
I've always
They've
wanted
saved this. Hang on a
tips.
minute. What? Okay. Oh, now the bees have gone.
Oh, gosh.
There was a moment there where I thought we were heading for some sort of disaster.
Petals on donuts.
How many trails have we? We've got 2 trails. We've got more because we could just keep playing them. Janet has written in on Facebook and says, good luck to Meghan. She seems to be getting worldwide publicity and at least she's trying to earn a living. Let's have a look. There we are. That's hers. And then we got Brian on X who says, what happened to them wanting privacy? And also, I thought the title was rescinded. Don't think it is, because in the end, you can't rescind Harry's princely blood. Kath has commented on Facebook and says, I actually probably will watch it, but I can't imagine her educating me on cash saving and organising the home. Fair enough. There was an article written in the Financial Times when COVID hit, and it was by a woman in Kensington who was married to a banker, and she was a banker, so they loaned lots of money. And they did that. We've taken the following steps immediately, and one of them was we've cut our weekly deliveries of flowers from 3 to 2. And then we've also had the nanny move in to the spare room. And they're thinking, that's not really going to help a lot of people. Gertrude in London, good afternoon.
I am certainly going to be watching it.
Brilliant.
And I'm glad I got on because I am so fed up with everybody bashing Meghan. She's a very, very clever woman. And she has been cooking since she was 11. Her mother was helping out in soup kitchens, and Meghan went with them. Mm-hmm. And they were cooking. And Meghan had also, before she was anybody, done voluntary work in 3 African countries, also cooking and doing all sorts of things.
No, I'm glad you said that.
When Grenfell fire happened, Meghan went down there and cooked with everybody. And Sadiq Khan was on LBC 2 years later, and he said, you've just been down there, and they were still talking about how she just mocked in.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember. Listen, thanks, Gertrude. That's a very good corrective. Hang on, I want to get Sharon in before we run out of time. Sharon in London, you pro this as well?
I am pro this, and I will be watching, and I will be supporting Meghan. I think that what we need to remember is that Meghan hasn't changed. Everybody else around her, including you in your programme, has changed. You are very negative towards her, and I think that there are racial undertones regarding this. Before she married Prince Harry, she had a blog, a lifestyle blog called The Tig, and so. Actually, what she's doing is she's returning to what she knows and what she's done best. And the TIG had a following of 3 million.
Right.
3 million
it's whether or not... Michael's point is you can't be lectured on lifestyle by a billionaire. That's what Michael said.
She's not a billionaire. Okay. And furthermore,
by a multi-millionaire.
Furthermore, she look where she came from. She has worked her way to the top, and she knows how to cook.
Andrew, Sharon, why don't you let somebody else speak? Hang on.
Well, want a fun.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad. If you're here for the truth about Prince Harry and Meghan and not the recycled media smear campaigns, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and show your support with a super thanks if you love what we do. Now let's talk about Meghan Markle's brand new show with Love Meghan. The series promises to bring lifestyle tips, heartfelt moments, and a touch of elegance. Yet, surprise, surprise, the usual haters are already up in arms. So what's the problem this time? Well, according to certain talk shows and panel discussions, Meghan isn't allowed to have a lifestyle brand. Why? Because she married a prince? Because she dares to share something positive? It's ridiculous. One panelist sneered that Meghan's too privileged to offer lifestyle advice. But wait a minute. When other public figures like Martha Stewart or Nigella Lawson do the same thing, no one complains. And let's not forget, Meghan had her popular blog, The Tig, long before royal life. This isn't a new Meghan, this is just her returning to what she loves. It's funny how the same people who say Meghan should get a real job suddenly change their tune when she actually works. These critics have one goal, to discredit everything Meghan does, no matter what. If she's silent, they say she's irrelevant. If she speaks, they call her attention-seeking. The hypocrisy is off the charts. And let's talk about that Oprah interview moment. Remember when Meghan said, were you silent or were you silenced? That still sends chills because we know the answer. The same forces that tried to silence her back then are now trying to stop her success. But guess what? Meghan isn't backing down, and neither are we. With Love, Meghan isn't about extravagance, it's about elevating the everyday. She's giving thoughtful ideas that anyone can use, no matter their background, and yet critics claim she's out of touch. Let's be real, these complaints aren't about her content. They're about keeping her boxed into the narrative they created. Meghan is thriving, Harry is thriving, and nothing the tabloids say will change that. They can whine all they want. This show is going to be a massive success. So, will you be watching with love, Meghan? Let me know in the comments. And if you love seeing Harry and Meghan win despite the haters, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that super thanks to support the channel. Let's keep lifting up positive voices.